What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astrodfs, and in today's video, going over the Thursday night showdown between the Bills and Texans. And man, this seems like one of the uglier ones that we've gotten, and they make it pretty clear that it's an ugly slate. Josh Allen at 12-4, James Cook at 11-4, Nico Collins at 11-2, Davis Mills at 9-6, and Woody Marks at 9-2 for our top 5 players. Man, this one just looks ugly. I think one of the things that people are going to overlook is Houston's defense so far this season. And we could just look at it just from a DraftKings perspective. But you go and look, and they've put up some amazing numbers this season. But you look at some of the teams they faced, probably not the best evaluation. I mean, they're still a good defense. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. But they faced Rams week 1, right? Really good offense. Tampa Bay, really good offense, especially at the time. Then they faced Jacksonville twice. Tennessee twice. Baltimore without Lamar Jackson. Faced Seattle, which Sam Darnold's played good. So faced a San Fran offense, which extremely banged up in that one as well. And then Bo Nix, I don't think they've had the toughest schedule, at least from, just an opposing standpoint from the opposing offense. So I like Josh Allen in this one. I truly do. I think he just, out of everybody, obviously stands out. I don't want to make it sound any worse, but yeah, Josh Allen's kind of the number one guy for me. And then I like James Cook as well. If we're talking from a ceiling outcome in this game, those are the two that I really like in this one. Nico Collins I also like as a run back piece. I prefer, if you can afford an extra $1,600 on this one, which it's pretty hard to do, but if you can, I like these three and then just figuring out everything else from there. Like Davis Mills, I like Davis Mills 2 weeks ago when they faced Jacksonville. Faced Tennessee and just still doesn't really do much. With all the weapons they have there, just didn't do much. Woody Marks seems like he's in a great spot. But yet again, we saw Woody Marks in a really good spot last week against Tennessee. Like I said, one of the concerns was Jeffrey Simmons coming back. Obviously, we just saw Buffalo get torched by Sean Tucker. Woody Marks is in a really good spot, but I don't think Woody Marks should be 9,200 on this slate, especially when you have like a Josh Allen and James Cook. Woody Marks just seems too expensive in this one for me. I do think the matchup is a really good matchup for him, but Houston's offensive line just has not been good, and it's been clear, like, Woody Marks has suffered. You look at Woody Marks' numbers all season, he's only had really a couple good games. You go and look at Nick Chubb, you look at Nick Chubb's numbers this season, like, yet again, not really good out of Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. Like, they are touchdown dependent to have a really good fantasy game. That offensive line is just not good. So we're seeing a really bad offensive line versus a really bad rush defense. I don't love that formula. I truly don't. So when it comes to, am I picking Woody Marks or Davis Mills? Like, I probably prefer Davis Mills for $400 more. And I know that sounds ugly with how great Woody Marks and everything looks for Woody Marks in this one. It's just the price tag is very scary to me. Khalil Shakir is in a really good spot, in my opinion, this week at 8K. Did not pay off at all. Surprisingly, somehow Buffalo scored 44 points. And without Keon Coleman and without Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir had 0.7 points. That is just unheard of, crazy for a guy that should be the number one receiver on this team. Not saying a true number one receiver, but number one receiver on the team. Got one reception against that Tampa Bay, and he played a lot, but one reception for -3 yards, and the team scored 44 points is just crazy. I think it's a better opportunity. Houston's missing a corner, and it would be their slot corner, so I do like Shakir in this matchup at 8K. And then guess what? Not a lot that I like. Dalton Schultz I don't like. You're facing a Buffalo defense that, I mean, the run defense is bad, but their pass defense is good against tight ends, which usually doesn't correlate. Usually if a team is bad against the run, they're usually bad against tight ends as well. Not Buffalo. They're the complete opposite. Keon Coleman. After what happened last week, I'm not really interested in him either. But I will tell you, this range is where I like some of the players. Prater on Buffalo for the kicker. Like him. Fairbairn, he's still good to go at 5K. Like him as well. Can easily see, Houston making a stop. Buffalo kicking points. On the Houston side, can see Houston just not being able to really, truly move the ball down the field and use Fairbairn to contribute to their offense. I like both kickers in this one. I easily, if you want to go for the Vegas route and say this game's going to go under, I can easily see one of these guys kind of paying off then, especially when we throw out some of the names that are going to be down there. Obviously, the Texans defense is intriguing at 4,400. Like I said, they've faced some non-good offenses 100%, but they put up some pretty consistent numbers so far this season. So, at 4,400, really like the Texans defense. The Bills on the other side, you look at some of the opponents they've had, and their defense just has not played the greatest. But when you're facing a team that struggles to run the ball consistently, you're seeing Davis Mills, which Houston has some talent in that wide receiver room. Dalton Schultz, I think, has been solid for him this year, but I think the Bills have a scenario where the Bills defense is pretty damn good as well in this game. If they could stop the run and they're just a pass defense, then yeah, I'm okay with the Bills defense in this one as well. Down for value, I mean, it's pretty much just throw a dart. I don't like that Dawson Knox is 4K. He is 4K, and this is what he's done so far. It just makes no sense. Khalil Shakir is still the team leader in red zone targets. Dawson Knox really hasn't been utilized at all in that aspect, which you would think he would, but he's not. Gabe Davis is 3,800. Josh Palmer's 4,200, which I like Palmer at 4,200. The deep off the right, it's still a tough matchup. Gabe Davis, maybe, right? 3 for 40 last week. Maybe Gabe Davis. It all depends on Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's in, I'm probably not really liking either of those guys. Ty Johnson's a name worth mentioning at 3,400. He's kind of taking the RB2-ish role, whatever that entails, because there's not a lot there for the RB2 for Buffalo. On the Houston side, yeah, you get some cheap wide receivers. Hutchinson is 3K. Christian Kirk is 2,800. And then Buffalo, I think a player that could be interesting at 1,000 is Elijah Moore. He's just not put up anything crazy, but at 1,000, it kind of allows you to open up and get some of those players up top. So let's trial it out. Let's see what we could build on this one, and let's throw Elijah Moore in there, and it opens us up. So let's throw Khalil Shakir in there. I like him in this one. Let's throw Josh Allen. We need a captain. That's tough. What does Nico do? Nico kills us. If we throw James Cook, we get nothing. So let's captain Shakir, see what that does. Let's throw Elijah Moore in as well. Obviously don't love that. I really don't love that. Shakir's the cheapest that I would want to go at captain. So let's switch it. And then I could go Allen captain. And let's say I'm fading James Cook and I'm going Nico. And then I'm going Shakir. And then let's go Prater. And let's throw... Let's say Bills defense. And then with 22, then yeah, we throw Elijah Moore and do something like that. But realistically, that's what I like. Obviously, fading James Cook. But I do like this line. I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? I think cover the touchdown upside for Josh Allen, who Josh Allen's been better than James Cook in the red zone as far as touchdowns. Get the number one receiver for Houston. Pretty much the only Houston player I'm truly interested in. Get the pass catcher in Khalil Shakir, which, yet again, did not work out last week. Could be 2 weeks in a row. We'll see. His numbers versus zone are pretty good, so I like that. If the Bills don't score, I get Matt Prater, and then just banking on the Bills defense and then Elijah Moore to do literally anything. Which still can't really go anywhere else. Like Shavers, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in because of what he did last week. But I think the Buffalo wide receiver room is just going to be dependent on the whole Keon Coleman. Is he going to play? Which I would imagine he does this week, but still. So we'll check to see who's Buffalo wide receivers are. But yet again, just an example of kind of how tough the slate is, right? Don't have Woody Marks, don't have Davis Mills, don't have James Cook. So kind of fading those guys for Josh Allen, Nico, and Shakir. So hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.